All right, hello friends, here we go. We got our episode for today in my hands. We're going to be talking boomers being fools, and then we're going to do a wholesome wrap-up for the episode. This is going to be great. That one's going to be from r/I don't work here lady. So let's jump right in. Boomers being fools. If I haven't said already, I'm Vince, and let's get started right now. So this one is from Try Dry 9944. Boomer doesn't understand why I won't let her break into someone's room, and also that the front desk is not my job. Witnessed a boomer meltdown at my hotel today. They wouldn't accept her non-existent reservation to the hotel restaurant. This reminded me of my own story. In the distant future of 2017, I worked at a hotel as a houseman. Basically, my primary responsibility was keeping the linen stocked, but I had my hands in just about everything. I did the trash, mopped and swept. I ran room service. I did very light maintenance jobs. Think things that are simple but required to be done, like broken lights, battery replacements, doors not working, etc. Guest requests, and luggage. The only thing I didn't do was the front desk. So it's towards the end of my shift, and I had finished everything that I needed to wrap up. And I was pretty much just looking for things to do till I could clock out at 4. Kitchen trash was taken out already, concierge lounge wasn't even used today. Hey, even laundry room didn't need any help. So I pop upstairs to see if front of house needed anything. Turns out they were slammed. First time I've ever seen more than 4 people and families waiting to be checked in. Sadly, most I could do was stand by for anyone who asked for help with luggage. Until Karen appeared. Karen walked out of the elevators, looked at the line for the front desk, and immediately tried to bump to the front. The front desk worker and the people waiting to check in did not accept her line cutting. And when you have an entire lobby of folks staring you down, she crumbled. So she turns her attention on me since I'm not exactly doing anything, and starts demanding I help her. Cool, that's what I'm here for. Okay, ma'am, how can I help? I can't get into my room. Okay, is it a problem with the door itself? Yeah, I can't get into my room. All right, ma'am, if you just tell me your room number, I will meet you there with my door tools. So I grab the door tools, a special screwdriver that lets me open the panels and expose the locking system, and I head up to her room. When I get there, she's doing that exaggerated foot tapping. It took me a whole 5 minutes to get the tool and then get back there. About time. Sorry about the wait. May I see your key card? I don't have it. It's locked inside. Ma'am, I thought you said you had a problem with the door. I do, it won't open. Tends to happen when you don't have your key. Okay, well, you're gonna have to go to the front desk to get a new key. Just open the door for me and I'll go get it. I can't do that, ma'am. I have no way of proving that this is your room. At this point, I swear she was getting red in the face, repeating over and over how she has important work to do to get back to her room, and she needed to get inside for her dog. This is a no-pet hotel. Repeatedly, I tell her I can't open doors for guests, I don't even have a key card to do it. Eventually, it gets through to her and she demands that I get her a new key, which I still can't do because I don't have access to the hotel's key system. Eventually, she gets that I can't help her and that she'll need to go down to the front desk. So I go to leave. It's 4:10. By the time I clock out, and as I'm walking out, I see Karen in line, behind at least 3 more families. Thanks for wasting both of our time, because I won't break into a room for you. The next one on this Boomer Being Fools episode is posted by Fun Display 7574. Boomer doesn't understand reserved seating. I've always been a big movie guy. I love going to the theater. And when it's a big time release, I love going to the first showing if possible. When COVID hit, that was a big heartbreaker for me. So naturally, when things opened up, I was pumped to go to the movies again. Even better that my local theaters upgraded to premium reserved seating during the shutdown. No more showing up an hour too early to get good seats. When the new Top Gun came out, they did fan showings a few days early. I booked my ticket a month prior as soon as pre-sales started, in my favorite seat in the house, front row behind the rail, so I can prop up my long legs. I burn a fatty in the parking lot, get my snacks, and stroll in right after the house lights go down. Theater is packed. But I have a reserved seat right in the middle of the row. I navigate through the crowded aisle to where my empty seat should be, but lo and behold, there's a boomer sitting there. Now, I'm pretty baked, so I question myself. I go back and check the row, check my ticket. I'm not mistaken. There's someone in my seat. I go back to my seat and tell the guy that he's in my chair. He responds, well, we're all together, as he motions presumably to his wife and another couple. I just stare back at him for a moment and then say, okay, this is my seat. He freezes up. Then Karen jumps in with, well, we're all together, but there's an empty seat down there. The empty seat is at the end behind another seat. Worse view and no room to stretch out. Not my preferred seat. I'm dumbfounded at this point. More stoned by the second now, and I'm starting to get pissed. I chose to ignore Karen and look back at Ken. I just say, this is my seat. Karen starts at it again, this time with a few huffs thrown in for good measure. I turn and glare at her before repeating myself again to Ken. Now Karen number 2 decides to interject herself. I ignore her too and look to Ken one last time. As I point to the ground in front of him, I forcefully say, this is my reserved seat. Not that one down there. This one right here. He pauses for a moment, rethinking his life choices. I'm a big guy after all. The Karens start up again before he cuts them off and says they'll move. After some more grumbling, the two couples part and I take my seat between them. By the time the film starts, they've shut up, and I enjoy my night at the movie. But not before I commandeer both cup holders and armrests, spreading my long legs as far as possible, and basking in the skunkiness that I just know has clung to my hair and clothes. All right, let's rock and roll another story from Towman32526. Another boomer fire department story. So I was working security at some condos in a beach tourist town. I look up and see smoke coming from a balcony. I can tell that it's a charcoal grill and the flames are almost touching the roof. It is a huge fire code violation to have any grill on a covered balcony of a multi-unit building. I went up to the unit, greeted by a new condo unit owner, Boomer. I explained to him that it's not allowed by building code here and he needs to put it out now. He tells me that I'll put it out when he damn well pleases, he owns it, and he'll do whatever he wants. And he slammed the door in my face. I called the non-emergency number to the sheriff and explained to them what was going on. What happened next made my entire day. Even though I told them it was a grill, because of it being a highly populated building, this prompted a lights and sirens response from the sheriff and the beach fire department. So me, 2 deputies, and 3 firefighters in full turnout gear go up to the unit. Boomer opens the door. The firefighters push straight past him and dump 2 dry chem extinguishers and a water can, all over easily $200 worth of steaks and the sides. Boomer starts screaming at them and is threatened with arrest if he doesn't get away from the firefighters, and is given a $1,000 fine for burning on the balcony. They hated me for the rest of the time that I worked there. So our fourth story is posted by user Annexer. I can go first. A few days ago, I was at the local Lidl, a small local grocery shop. 2 customers ahead of me. The first is already paying. Second has all their stuff on the conveyor belt and the little divider up. I start loading my things onto the conveyor belt. I've got maybe 25 items. Boomer appears in line behind me, throws down her 3 or 4 items before I finished. So I put a divider down to push it back a touch, nudging her items back a little so there's enough space for the rest of my things. She huffs. Customer ahead forgot their PIN and had to use another card. More huffing and complaining. It's maybe 30 seconds of a holdup. Cashier finishes off with the customer, then turns to me. The boomer picks up her items, tries to walk around me, and says I can go first. I'm a stocky guy, and there's not really room to get around me. So I take a step back to block her and say, no, I was here first. If you'd ask politely, I'd have considered it. She goes from 0 to 100 and yells, I only have a few items. I can go first. It's not a problem. I'm really busy. I stared at her and repeated, no, I was here first. She huffs and puffs some more. You're buying too much. I can go first. I reply, I really don't care. During this, the cashier has rung everything through already. I bag it up and pay. I don't know why you couldn't let me go first. I only have a few things. You should respect your elders. I just roll my eyes, move to the side to rebag things more evenly, then go outside to wait for my friend who was still shopping. Friend comes out 5 minutes later. Boomer is still inside, rearranging her shopping bags. All right, our final story for this episode is going to be a wholesome one. From the user Jess is Cringe, posted on r/I don't work here lady. Wholesome lady wants to let my manager know I helped her at Walmart, but I work for the county. I've been sitting on this one for a few months because I didn't think it would fit since it wasn't about a Karen. But after listening to some stories on YouTube, I think it works. I was at the Walmart getting my lunch and some sparkling water for work. But before heading to the frozen foods, I swung by the pharmacy section to get some ibuprofen. I'm 6'4" and was wearing my work uniform, navy blue pants and a hoodie of the same color with an orange square being the company's name. No vest, no name tag, so it's unlikely that one would assume I work at Walmart. After getting the pills, an employee approached me and asked for some help. I didn't want to be rude, so I followed her to the aisle where they keep the soap. She asked me to grab one from the top shelf, and that was that, right? Well, I heard a rickety cart pull up as an older woman approached me with an "excuse me." I quickly turned around, expecting to have someone clear their throat or snap their finger at me like I've been conditioned to think, but I was actually greeted by a very kind smile as lady asked, "Would you be a dear and grab that for me?" Because she asked nicely, I did. The item wasn't big or heavy, just high up. I think it was a shampoo or something. I don't work in customer service, but something clicked in me and I asked, is there anything else I can help you with? The lady smiled and asked if I knew where the water bottles were. Funny enough, the sparkling water was right next to the normal water, so I said, right this way. And I led her from the pharmacy section to the drinks. As we arrived, I asked which brand she preferred, put it on the bottom rack of the cart, and as I was headed to grab my sparkling water, she said, "You're so kind. Can I get your name?" I gave her my name, and she said, "I'm going to call the store and tell them how much of a help you were." I laughed a bit, and I told her not to worry about it, and when she insisted, I pointed to the orange logo on my hoodie And I said, I actually work for this company. We do contracts for the county. We both had a laugh, and as we parted ways, I rewarded myself by getting my favorite brand instead of the cheaper option. Let this be a lesson to all you entitled jerks. If you're polite and not inconveniencing others, they might help you. It worked out for this wholesome lady. It can work out for you too. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince. Thank you to my producer, Kevin, and we'll see you next time here on The RR Show.